Hey, welcome back to another episode of Instant Ramen Podcast. I'm your host, Juan. And as always, my co-host is here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hey, Trip.
Hey, Trip.
Hey.
How's it going, man?
It's pretty good. Man, do I feel beat because today is the first day back in town after Anime Expo, after all of our traveling, all of our adventures.
Wow.
Yeah.
The boys are back in town.
The boys are back
Someone
in
should
town.
make a song about it. That's a pretty catchy... It's pretty catchy saying, yeah, boys are back now.
Yeah, man. You
I'll
want
get
to
on
play
that.
it and get our episode taken off of YouTube?
No, we shouldn't. Oh, shit. Whose turn is that to do that?
Hey, this is a whole different thing.
Okay, cool.
Don't
We'll do that
worry
next
about
week.
it. Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot. We're finally back from Anime Expo in Los Angeles for 2018. We're here in your home. I was going to say our home. This isn't our home yet.
It's our home.
Not our home yet. In my heart is our home.
Be our home.
We're here in your room. And you know what? I never thought I'd be so excited to be in your room recording with you.
Oh, fuck.
No, I'm really something about like just being in a different place, like a hotel. Like we have like no control over what the things sound like, how hot it is in the fucking room apparently. There's
I'm so done
there's
with that.
there's so many other variables out there. And to be like in a place that we're so familiar with makes me very happy. Is that okay? Should other friends be familiar with other friends' rooms?
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing. As a kid, yeah, totally.
As an adult?
Then when you're like a teenager, it's like, yeah, come in my room, like we'll hang out there for a little bit. But it's a little bit more like we'll just chill in the kitchen, we'll just chill in the living room. You start feeling like
I didn't have friends growing up, so I really didn't know how this works. Okay, what's next?
Yeah, I'll help you out. And then when you do become an adult, it's a little bit more like, oh, that's my bedroom. That's where I sleep
and get naked.
That's it.
Yeah, don't go there.
Please, I just change and sleep in there. We no longer hang out there. My living room is my living room, and that's where we live. That's why it's called that.
No, I guess that's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess we used to record just always in either my room, your room.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely, because we have the most control.
Yeah.
Like, living room is the best area for, like, a chill sesh because anything could happen. Living rooms are wild. Cool. Somebody could take their clothes off in there, start eating a sandwich, and just, like, let loose.
Fuck everything. And that, guys, that was how to run a podcast. That's a tip for anybody out there who's trying to... If you've been listening to this podcast for all these episodes to try to get some advice on how to run your own podcast, well, there you go.
Gotcha.
It's a fucking gem. Anyways, this episode, we're going to be talking about the last day of Anime Expo.
Day 4.
And then we're also going to be doing like a summary of what we thought and things we brought, and just something super simple, nothing too crazy. And then next week we'll have a really cool full length show, hopefully.
Yeah.
I know we were hoping to like have an episode every day, but with the way things are, and lines,
too much
and
pressure on us,
sun and fucking eating and drinking,
why do you even bring these up?
Sex and alcohol.
No,
it's so exhausting.
It really is.
It's hard being pressed.
It's hard being pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I forgot to tell you.
Are we making this our home?
This is our home.
This is our home now. We did it. We fucking made it. Cool, man. Okay. So on the last day of Anime Expo, I decided to do something I wanted to do the whole time.
What's that?
Go to the exhibition hall.
Holy shit! Why would you go to the exhibit hall?
Because I fucking hadn't gotten to go there except for like one day for maybe like an hour or two.
Why would you do that?
Because I like buying stuff.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I mean, you see a ton of cosplay there. You see a ton of just like cool art, cool figures, cool games. Like everything's happening, and it feels like it's alive.
For sure. And then while I was doing that, you were doing cool stuff and going to see the premiere of a movie, right?
Yep.
What was it called?
What was it called? Kaze-san and the Morning Glories.
That's right. Do you want to talk about my thing first or your thing first?
Let's just, because I'll also go over the exhibit hall a little bit, because I didn't dive too big into that.
Cool. So first.
We'll talk about Kaze-san. So this was the third Pony Canyon thing that I had seen. First, there was Liz and the Bluebird, which we already know. I loved it. It was a great time. And then we went to the panel, which was a lot of fun too, because you got to experience the same chick.
Yeah, that you did.
Yeah, and she was back at the last one that I went to.
Could you hinder a guess as to what her position was again? Like she had something to do in the company.
You know what? I don't know, but she was pretty much acting as a moderator.
Yeah, she was a great moderator. I feel like the biggest review for the Pony Canyon panel was that bitch fucking killed it.
Dude, she did. And here's the thing about her though. She never said who she was. She never like introduced herself. She was like, "Hello." We are Pony Canyon.
You know what? Maybe she is Pony Canyon.
Oh.
If there was a Q&A, you know what the one question I wanted to ask?
Who are you?
No. That's a good question. No, the one question I would have asked was, because at the beginning she was talking about like, we are Pony Canyon or whatever. And then she was just like, people 4 years ago used to be like, what the fuck is Pony Canyon?
Yeah.
And now people are like, oh, we know what Pony Canyon is. My question would have been like, why'd you name it Pony Canyon? Like, what's the deal?
Why?
What's the influence behind that? A lot of, names have a huge importance and everything. Like
where did the name Funimation come from?
Because they're fun and they're animation. It's fun animation.
Wait, it's a portmanteau. I get it.
I don't know what that means.
Portmanteau is a combination of two words. Yeah.
Oh man, it's a funny word.
But not like a contraction where it's two words missing a letter. You know, like
I get it.
Don't.
So like Applebee's, nailed it. Hey, you looking at me like I'm stupid. You know I nailed it.
I love that. Just like Applebee's.
Just like Applebee's.
That's what it is, man.
No, so that's what would have been the one question I asked for Pony Canyon. Why did they come up with the name like Pony Canyon?
Why that?
Okay. So anyways, I got to experience her. So back to your movie.
Yeah. Anyways, so she was back, and then they brought out the director of the movie, which we had seen the night before at the Pony Canyon panel.
Producer, right? Was the actual director there?
Yeah. So
the guy that was on the video,
the producer and the director was
cool,
there.
Yeah.
No, the video guy was a different guy.
That's a different guy. Okay. So the producer and director were there.
Yeah, they were both there, and didn't have a whole lot to say. Just said
never
like,
do.
You know what? This is a movie. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a very delicate movie.
He gets like the mic. He goes like, "Hey, we made this shit," and then he's like, "Boom!" Drops the mic.
Just like,
and the girl's like, "Yay, Pony Canyon!"
Okay, thank you very much. And now enjoy the movie. Please don't take any videos or pictures.
Okay, no videos, because we need to put this out in theaters and we need to sell some fucking tickets. Because we're Pony Canyon, we need to make our fucking bread.
Okay, and that guy's allowed to film because he's hired by us.
Did he say that? Did she say that?
Yeah, she said that. There was a guy who was like, he had a huge ass like professional camera.
Was he pointing it at the screen or at the audience?
At the panel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like how she had to clarify this. Like, hey guys, I know I just said no recording, but this guy right here,
she's like, I saw somebody try to punch him. Don't punch him. No, because she said like, if you see your neighbor doing it, hit them. She's like, don't hit them, but ask them to not.
Oh my god, what a treat. God, I would just.
She was great.
I would rent her just to have her hang around me and just say things. She's like, oh, what are you doing now, Juan? I'm opening Photoshop. Oh, okay, open Photoshop. But after you open Photoshop, don't forget to close Illustrator. Yes, I will close Illustrator before I open up Photoshop. Thank you.
All right, cool. Thanks, chick. Thanks, moderator. So anyways, she was great again. And Kazusana Morning Glories, for those who don't know, it's a like a high school romance movie between two girls. Mm-hmm. So it starts out, and it's not like, hey, we gotta like build this relationship. It's like,
they already established.
Oh my god, we're dating. I'm so excited that we're dating. Isn't it crazy that we're dating? And it kind of like shows you to a flashback of them like meeting and whatnot. First off, the movie looks really pretty. Mm-hmm. It's really pretty, and it's also super adorable. That being said, I don't have the same kind of reactions as like apparently 90% of anime fans.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just that I would have had those reactions
if
10
they
years
weren't
ago.
There yet. Okay.
I don't know.
If you weren't so desensitized, if you didn't love the way they love.
Bro, I don't think you have love the way that they love.
I'm pretty sure I've been right there with them, hooting and hollering at every blush.
They weren't hooting and hollering.
They were whooping and wailing.
They were
doing the nay-nay.
They were laughing and coughing.
Oh, well, at least they weren't farting. So.
They were like hacking. They were
because it's like the most oxygen they've ever gotten because they left the room.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like the theater would have enhanced the experience for most of the people there. They were really enjoying it. But for me, it's like, you know what? It didn't influence me one way or another.
For sure.
But if I was watching it at like a movie theater that I paid to go see,
you'd have been more comfortable.
I would have been pretty pissed.
Really? Oh, with them there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Them there.
I get what you're saying.
No. Yeah.
But do you think do you think you'd rather like, if you could redo this, would you just watch it by yourself?
I would have had the same input either way.
Okay.
Because, going to see it for free, it's like, fine. But if I had that audience in
ruining
a theater
that
I paid for, I would have been pissed and I would have not enjoyed the movie.
Bro, what was that movie? A Quiet Place. God, I fucking hated whoever I was sitting with. They were the worst. The fucker couldn't stop coughing.
But the movie was still like good.
I get what you're saying.
That's the thing. So like this, It was all right. It was really pretty. It was a cute story. Essentially, we got to see a little bit of each character, but not enough for them to actually have personalities. So we have blonde-haired girl. She is very cute. We have brown-haired girl. She is athletic, and she's a little bit more tomboyish. But essentially, one of them does one thing, the other one does another. Somehow they met each other, and they just really like each other. The tomboyish one is a little bit more sensible, experienced. The other one is pretty clueless, never dated anybody, and she doesn't really understand how relationships work, or she's just really cutesy and ditzy, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it shows them going through different parts of their relationship, when they first meet and like hold hands and stuff, and then they're hanging out and they go out and on little dates and they are cute with each other at school or whatever. But then it gets back to like the point where like they kiss pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. But then it gets to the point where one of the characters, the ditzy one, her parents are out of town, or like they're going to be at work longer or something like that. And she's like, you want to come over to my house after work? So like, I don't get lonely. And that's legitimately what she thought. But then the other one's like, oh my God, she's invited me over and her parents aren't going to be back for a while. Like, oh, and then they're hanging out. And
like there's like this sexual thing behind it.
Yeah. Okay. So they're hanging out and they're both having, like, I feel like this is I might be spoiling it for certain people.
By the way, honestly, spoilers if we spoil anything. Yeah. We don't intend to.
But honestly, the whole movie is essentially just this, but in different situations. So it has like a few situations that it focuses on for like small periods of time.
Okay.
So this is one of them. And she comes over and she's like, oh, I brought cake. And the girl's like, oh my God, I love cake. I have to go take this phone call really quick. And then, she's left in her room alone and she's so excited. She's like, oh my God, I'm over at my girlfriend's house and it's so great. And she's so wonderful. And, they're just being cute in their own ways. And then she comes back in, she's off the phone. And then, she catches her girlfriend with her head under her sheets.
Yeah, which was a tiny clip I saw from the trailer or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And she's doing that just like to smell her more and like, be all close to her and whatnot, even though she's not there. Anyway, she comes back and she's embarrassed. That's pretty much the whole theme of this. Like, they always get embarrassed about shit in front of the other person. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, I don't know. There's that whole thing. Long story short, there's a miscommunication where they're like, they're having a good time together. And then she's like, well, would you, like, you invited me over here. I don't know what you're
trying to lead me on. Yeah.
But like, do you want to do it? Are you comfortable doing that? And she like sits there for a second and thinks, she's like, yeah, I'd be okay with kissing her. Yeah, I'm okay with doing it. So it's that thing where she's like really
so it's a
innocent.
miscommunication.
Yeah.
So it's like,
then it's like, it's almost at the point where it's getting a little bit heavy and hot and everything, but it's not like, it's clearly not going anywhere super edgy. It's just like these girls are being close and they're kissing.
It's all done like tastefully though. Yeah. Like, okay. Making sure.
Yeah, no, like all of this it's not like fetishized at all.
It's just like two young people who are like figuring out what their first sexual encounter is, I guess.
Yeah.
But one not knowing, I guess. That would be that quintessential like sitcom scenario, right?
Pretty much. Well, yeah. It's very similar to that. But it's done in a less like laugh out. I thought it was done in a less laugh out loud way.
What did the theater think it was done?
God damn it. Every fucking thing they did. They just laughed and laughed and laughed. Oh, she's embarrassed. Ah, oh my God, she's eating food. Ha ha ha. Oh, I really like that you did this. Just like, are you fucking kidding me right now, you guys? It's literally like 2 lines of dialogue and they haven't said anything funny. They're just having a conversation. Long story short, she winds up being like, you know what? I don't think that you are ready. Yeah, I think we have different meanings, but it's okay. We'll try it another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it just has a couple more miscommunications, but it starts out and it does address that like more difficult issue pretty quickly. And I thought they handled it in a pretty good way. They bring up another thing later, which I thought was it's actually something that I've thought about before, where I think most people have kind of thought about this issue in some way or another, where they're both going, they're on a school trip and everyone in the class is going to bathe together. Yeah. Cause that's the thing that happens in Japan. Yeah. For like dudes, it's like in the shower or something.
At the gym or something.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. So they're in this relationship together. They're both into chicks. Like that's where it could be kind of weird, but the athletic one's just like I shower like all the time.
Yeah,
like,
with the other girls or whatever.
Like it's just normal.
Just rubbing it up on each other.
Then the other girl is like really embarrassed, not necessarily to go and like bathe with other girls. She's fine with that.
It's
but
the whole that she is there. Yeah,
yeah, because they haven't seen each other naked before, right? So it's like a really embarrassing moment, and then that causes a big issue. And I don't care. I'm gonna spoil how it concludes, or whatever. But it's a whole thing, and it was fucking annoying. And then finally, it gets to the end of it, and she's explaining like, no, like it was nothing that I didn't want to be with you. It's just that I was, insecure because I feel like you look so good and you're athletic, and I'm just like flabby, and I'd never seen you naked before, and you've never seen me naked before. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. You should have just explained that like a day ago instead of making all this fucking time. Yeah.
But then that wouldn't have been a movie trip.
I know. Well, that's the fucking thing. So it's all these little things that are like, oh man, it takes so long. And everyone's like, oh, it's so adorable. And like, I don't know. It felt like it was addressing some of the same issues, because the bigger thing of the movie was they're going to go to different schools.
Oh, okay.
They have different things. I know, right?
That's always a
big
caveat when it comes to any like
high school
romance, or is it or middle school romance, or like you gotta try to get in the same middle school together or whatever.
Yeah, but it's even bigger when it's college.
So they're in high school. So they're seniors. They're seniors. Good. Okay, I was just making sure.
Cool. So both of them are trying to figure out where they're going to go and what they're going to do, and if they want to try to stay together or what's all that. So that's the overarching theme.
Yeah.
With like issues,
like
here
young
and there.
love and all this stuff. What's funny is I almost want to. God, if I could rewrite this movie, I've never seen. How funny would it have been? Because usually it's I'm going to go to this school, has a great sports team or whatever. Whatever the sports team, that's where I'm going. Or this one has a really good
it has a great agricultural program.
or has a great student government or some bullshit like that. What if it would have been like the agriculture girls like they have a really good competitive plant growing team, and I think I'm going to go for it. And the sports chick's like, oh, but I don't know if I could give up my sports dream to follow you in your agriculture, because that's essentially her thing. She's like a plant chick, right? She grows stuff. She
does the gardening. She's part of the gardening club. So the issue was like, oh, I don't know if I'm smart enough to do that, and I don't know where I want to go or all this, and I think I'm just going to stay in town, go to the city college, and like, but you're going to go to Tokyo, and maybe I should try to go to Tokyo. It was a whole thing. Long story short, without concluding that whole thing, it reminded me so much of Liz and the Bluebird, done in a very, very, very different style, not as tasteful, not as strong or compelling. And I got to learn so much more about the characters in Liz and the Bluebird than I did about these, because literally the only 2 points were like, I like athleticism, I like gardening. We're both girls in a relationship.
Lesbians, yeah.
That's like it, man. It's just like, these are my interests and we like each other. So,
I guess just a quick question to compare with, because I mean, you were telling me the day like that we were leaving Expo about this movie and company. You're like, it's like a light version of Liz and the Bluebird. Like Liz and the Bluebird did it better. So, and the reason is like it's both about two girls, similar importance with the relationships. One is like friendship, the other one's like an actual romantic relationship. Right? No, so for Liz and the Bluebird, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh no, because they're spin-off characters, right? Because they're in San Euphonium. In San Euphonium, do they get much like screen time or whatever?
It's okay. So a lot of characters are there and they're featured in different scenes. Yeah. So it's like, oh, I know them. Yeah, but I don't know them. Okay, one of them, it's kind of a bigger point because she just straight up left the club, or not the club. She like left the band for a year. Okay, and she comes back. So that was kind of a bigger thing. And this character is so excited that she's back and whatnot, even though she's really shut off emotionally. And she's like always the quiet one who's really good at playing music, but like she's not really featured that much. Okay, so not many characters are.
So what you're saying is that like they just did a better job of developing these two characters as opposed to Morning Glory, which is like, we don't know who they are, but they did cute things, and people laughed or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that was the frustrating thing.
But it looked good, right? Visually?
Yeah, it looked visually really good. Honestly, can't remember any music.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but...
Could you tell me the studio?
Pony Canyon.
No, that's the distributor.
No, I actually can't. Because it's like... It's a bunch of letters.
Yeah, and it's super funny. I looked it up because I wanted to see what's like... Because I remember you telling me, like, just a bunch of letters. It doesn't sound any familiar. So it is a bunch of letters. It's a ZEXCS.
Zexus.
Yeah. And I was trying to look through the stuff that they make. The only thing that I recognize is Diabolic Lovers, which is that thing that Sierra made us watch.
I recall.
So, yeah, interesting.
So, yeah, but I'm glad that you looked that up.
Yeah, I was curious. So, yeah, I mean, it's a bummer that, you know, you didn't enjoy this movie as much as you could have or whatever.
Yeah, I just feel like, you know, coming from Liz and the Bluebird and how they talked about that and whatnot, they're like, you should also check out this movie. It's similar in a lot of ways, and the art's different and it's cool. And then I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And they do a lot of watercolor for the background, so it looked like really, really good.
Yeah.
But
I guess just coming off of any like really good movie we had recently, like, you know, Your Name or A Silent Voice, anything, just and when you compare it to other things, like, because that's what we were supposed to do. You're supposed to compare one thing to other.
Oh,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
And be like, yeah, it just can't compete, you know, essentially.
I mean, you know, Kaze-san More Inglorious was no My Hero Academia, two heroes.
Yeah, two heroes, you know what I'm saying? There was way more character development in that one.
Yeah, exactly, man. Melissa.
I mean, this movie will eventually come out in theaters sometime, I'm assuming, and I'm sure I'll watch it just because it's something that, you know, it's what we do.
Yeah.
So I'll probably watch it. I don't remember
if I actually took notes on this one because it was just like,
it's just like a movie,
it's kind of there.
Nope,
I didn't.
Any fun? So nothing you can remember that the director, because they literally just said it's a movie, watch it or whatever.
Essentially, yeah. They did mention the backgrounds. I'm like, yep, I
made the backgrounds. Yeah.
Thank you for telling.
Thank you for acknowledging my backgrounds.
Yeah.
Oh well, man. You did it. You got in. You were pressed. You premiered it.
I pressed it. It was fun.
Cool, man. Let's talk about what I did on the last day. So I was just on a manhunt looking for figures that I wanted.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
I feel you.
So every year I always try to find a new, because this is our third year going. I think last year was my first year successfully acquiring.
Yeah, you couldn't find any the first year.
It was last year was my first year successfully acquiring anything that was Ultimate Muscle, which is like the first anime I ever watched and probably my favorite still. And it's just out of nostalgia, almost anything.
Yeah,
I've gone back and started watching some Ultimate Muscle, and I love it still. But again, it's still out of nostalgia.
I mean, that's how I feel about Digimon. I watch it, I'm like, this is bad.
Yeah.
I should not be having such a good time.
Exactly. Like, I'll watch it and I'll be like, oh man, I'm just having such a good time. There's no way I can convince Trip to watch this. It's just, there's so many things that's wrong with this, you know?
Yeah, like, it sucks. I love it.
But I love it so much. So last year I was able to find an Ultimate figure, figure or whatever. It's an action figure that's in a box, but really nice. Actually, really not like a shitty action figure in my opinion. And it's I guess in Japan it's called Kinnikuman, right? So that's what I'm looking for. So I scouring the whole thing, and I found two. I found two boxes. One was a Terry Man, and the other one was Soldier Kinnikuman or whatever, who's like a part of this specific arc. They're the same size, they're exactly the same box, just a different number or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
So this was like number 6 and number 11. I was like, cool. And then in my head, I was like, great. That means there's like a number of them out there. That means I can acquire I can try to acquire all the numbers, because the other one I have is 7. So I got them for a pretty good deal. They're not massive. It was like 2 for $80. So I think, in my opinion, it's a pretty cool deal, because like I scoured the whole place and was the only 2 things I found. So to get 2 of the only 2 things that are there, I feel like not a bad deal.
Well, and it's also weird because when you're looking for things like that, it could be in the open with like all the other super popular figures. Sometimes it's just there, but then it's also like, oh, maybe it's in one of these weird,
really dark
little,
ones. Little
it's holes. A cage that I'm walking into.
I hate the cages. It feels so weird getting in there.
It does feel really weird
because like you get in there because there's no one inside the cage with you, but there's someone outside waiting to make sure you didn't take anything from the cage. Yeah. They're just like, let me know if you need anything, and like you just walk into this weird anime cave or whatever. We saw these really ugly Sailor Moon figures. They were like action figures. They're like this big. Like I'm holding up my hand. It's not the size of a potato. And they looked really ugly. And Kyle's like, look at those. And I looked at them like they looked like things out of nightmares. But like, if I were a child when that was the show and these toys dropped, they would have been high quality. And I was like, damn, those are pretty cool looking. Still ugly as fuck. I'm not buying them, you know?
Yeah, I feel you.
I had to look around and I ended up finding them in a pretty cool spot for a pretty good deal, in my opinion. And I kept looking, didn't find any more, so I'm pretty happy about that. We'll be posting pictures of what I found later.
Yeah.
I also, kept looking for anything else to buy, and I ended up finding I ended up deciding on buying this Luffy figure.
Okay.
And I'm not the hugest fan of One Piece. I remember watching it a lot when I was younger, because it was kind of like, it is like one of the big three, the big animes to watch.
Yeah.
And then it got taken off the air or whatever, and so it just kind of disappeared. And then it came back, and I was like, well, it's been like 1,000 episodes, so I'm way behind. I'll let it go. But I still really I remember cherishing those moments of like watching One Piece and like really liking Luffy, and I still dig it. I just it's
if I had started that when it first came around, I would have been so
on board.
down.
I love seeing like really good Luffy and like all the crews like cosplays. So, but I just don't know enough to And
I don't know shit. Man.
And there's so much.
I'm like, oh, cool, Blackbeard, but like,
who the fuck is that? Yeah. And like, oh, they revealed Luffy's dad. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, Luffy's brother. Oh my god, Ace. I was like, good dog. What the fuck? Have you found the piece? Have you found the One Piece? Are you the like all the like? I don't know. Anyways, there was a really cool figure that I saw like on day one. Day two,
it was super wicked.
And I described it to you and Kyle, and then Kyle said he saw it later, and then he came back to just tell us that we totally undersold how cool this figure was. I was like, fuck you. I definitely sold it the right way.
Nah, man. Well, he didn't say how cool it was. Said how long it was. Because, you get the idea. You're like, oh, man, he's punching the ground, and it's like
his arms stretched out,
And like, I don't know, his arm's probably like twice his size or something. But no, this is like
ridiculous.
It's fucking like 10 at least.
It's really, it's a really tall figure. I would say maybe less than a foot,
It's probably about,
and at the very top of it is like a really tiny Luffy. Really good details, in my opinion, for how small it is.
Oh, yeah.
And then his arm stretches all the way down, and it hits the ground. And it goes, you actually don't see the fist. It goes through to the bottom.
Yeah.
At the bottom, it has the thing that's holding it up is this, like, just cloud of dust and debris that's being broken apart.
Yeah.
And there's also this other little stand that I added to help support his foot so he can stay up there. So he just, like, looks really, like, it looks like he's just stretching down really hard to punch. And I was just like, wow.
Pretty cool.
That's so dope. I'm going to buy it. I don't care what anybody fucking says.
So you got it?
I totally bought it, yeah.
Nice.
And then I also imagined to find you a really affordable Bakugo figure.
Yeah. So one of my things is, a while ago, I got the Deku figure, and I knew that a Bakugo figure was out there, but Bakugo was way more difficult to find last year. Mm-hmm. This year, I saw him a lot. I saw him at a lot of different booths.
For like $40. I saw like...
Nope. I thought I saw one for 40. I could never find it again. I looked all over the place. It might have sold out pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But I found them for $45, and I was like, fuck that. I've seen it cheaper.
Yeah.
And then most places, $50. $50. So what'd you find it for?
I found it for you. I saw it around for 40 for a bit, and then I saw it for there's like a combo deal. You can get both the Deku and the Bakugo figure for 60.
I saw something like that.
But individually they're sold for 40. I was like, that's fucked, those assholes.
That's pretty fucked up, considering that almost like that was the only other booth that I saw with Deku for more than $20. Everywhere else it was $20.
Because I think there was so much Deku last year that then they're like, cool, we're going to sell a bunch of these again. And I think maybe the market's saturated and be like, cool, just $20, just take it out for hands. Anyways, I found it for 28, which is
fucking incredible.
Just below 30, right? Yeah.
It's almost half of the price that I found most of them.
Yeah, and it's a pretty good deal. I texted you, I was like, hey man, I found it. You want it? I'll get it for you. So yeah. And the last day we always talk about, the last day is a good day to wait to buy the things because they'll do a sale. So like every the guy's like, look, there's probably maybe 2-3 more hours before the thing closed. He had a bunch of them. He goes, I'll just take $2 off. What I thought was maybe his original price was 30. I was like, cool, good deal, $28. Why not? I think it looks really cool.
I agree. It does. It looks really cool. So I think it was the same day. Maybe it was the day before.
What happened?
I don't know. But I was also checking out stuff in the exhibit hall. Mm-hmm. It might have been the end of the day before. I can't remember. And I was able to find some books that I had been looking for.
I think that might have been the day before because I feel like we did baggage claim and then you went straight to your movie.
Yeah, but I don't remember if I had them in my bag already. I just can't remember.
I can tell. Anyways, but you bought some books.
Yeah, I bought some manga. And I bought a couple of issues or a couple of books of The Promised Neverland, which is a show coming out soon that I'm excited about. I bought the first issue of I've Been Reincarnated as a Slime or something. Yeah.
When I was reincarnated as slime or like that.
That time I was reincarnated as a slime. Yeah. And then I bought
So
I'm a
what?
spider.
So what?
So what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a spider. So what? Which Kyle read. He enjoyed. I really like the Reincarnated as a Slime book. I think it's going to be a more fun Overlord. And then I also bought a couple more Sweetness and Lightning to add to my collection. It's
Pretty dope. I think we might have mentioned that the last episode, but it doesn't fucking matter. We're just talking about what we bought.
Right.
I mean, I also got like that really cool Mob Psycho shirt, and then I got a really cool Moe Drake shirt that I couldn't get last year.
Yeah.
Because they sold it out, but we were walking back from dinner and I found it at a store, and I was like, cool. So this year was surprising. I didn't get to go to the artist alley, which is usually
I didn't either.
It was usually
it's one of my favorite parts.
But I really thought about it, and there's I just wanted a couple figures, and I felt like there aren't any real posters that I like. I'm dying to have.
Well, okay. So also here's the thing about that. On purpose, we didn't bring a poster tube.
Yeah,
like we could have. It would have been easy, but like part of us was just like, let's just not even worry about it. And another part was just like, I don't need any posters.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I got plenty of posters. I have one poster right now that I currently in my room that's hanging that I really like. It's a Samurai Champloo poster, but it's ripped. Yeah. It's ripped really bad. But it's still hanging up there. I was hoping to replace it with either like another Samurai Champloo or something else, But again, I didn't bring the tube. I was just like, you know what? In my head, I was like, it's not worth bringing the tube for the one poster I want. So I just kind of avoid the artist alley. It bummed me out a little bit because I do like seeing people's artwork.
Yeah, it definitely bums me out.
But it does take a huge chunk out of your entire AX experience.
It's so much walking there. But man, it sucks so much. I love the artwork. It's one of my favorite things. Yeah. It might be my favorite thing. But because it's my favorite thing, I want to buy so much. And I always buy like at least like 6 to 10 posters.
Yeah, more posters than you like even need,
Yeah, I'm looking at them like, okay, I remember buying those 4 at the same time, and then that one was the same time, and then that one was the same time. Like I bought I think I bought 6, and then I just had 4.
Yeah, it's a shit ton, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of art, I guess the biggest issue too is like me trying to figure out like where to put the art if I get it right.
Yeah.
And then the second one was I'm gonna buy stuff I don't need because like I got plenty of shows that I already have that I support, but there's like, what other show could I possibly want? I'm like, I got my My Hero, I got my Mob Psycho, I'm just like, I was trying to think about it, like there's no real show that I haven't represented that I feel like I'm super down for,
Okay.
Like if there's something I want, it'd be something super niche, something that's like that
like you might not even know what it is, just some cool art,
something that I know that like it's got to be something super super different, or something I personally want, like from a show that I know is not going to be up there. Like there's not going to be any full fucking what's it called, Ultimate Muscle things. There's no one's gonna make anything like that. That being said, I did see an Ultimate Muscle cosplay.
Oh
yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was a plastic mask on his face.
Well, okay, yeah.
but he wore like the singlet for the wrestling thing, and he had the chick from that's his love interest from the original show, walking on his arm. And I was like, cool. I mean, technically the thing is a mask that's on his head. Except it looked really plasticky. But I still, as a child, was like, oh man, that's fucking dope. Anyways, I did run into somebody who was super cool at the exhibit hall, right? This artist named Jeffrey Cruz.
Okay.
He was like just kind of drawing on stuff. I noticed that like no one was really bugging him, and he was just like drawing some stuff. And so I go up to him and I'm like, hey man, what you working on? And he started talking to me instantly realized he had an accent. I'm like, man, where are you from? He goes, I'm from Australia. I was like, oh, that's fucking dope.
Nice.
So instantly having a great time talking to him because like hearing what he says. I was like, so how's it work, man? Like, are these just pieces you want to draw and that you're selling, or are they commission things? Like, oh, it's mostly commission stuff. Like, people say I want something and I'll draw it for them. And I go, cool, man. I was like, well, how long does it take you? He goes, honestly, like, for a full body, he goes, like, he says, I work in a process. I line everything one night. The next night I'll do like the shadowing, and the last night I'll do like the coloring. So like, this is my last one to color and it should be good. I was like, cool. And he goes, and I was like, I didn't say I wanted something, but I was like, but I feel like he knew that I kind of wanted something. And he goes, honestly, he's like, I probably can't make any more today because it's the last day. He goes,
right.
Like, there's no way I could like pull off like a full body anything if you wanted it. It's like, I just can't get that done for you. He's like, but if you want like the face of something, like the bust of something, I could probably knock it out for you. He's like, no, man, don't worry. He's like, you do your work. I just want to know what your thing was. And I grabbed a card from him. It's a pretty cool card. Check it out.
Ooh,
I grabbed this card because I wanted to follow him on social media and see his work. And then I asked him, like, did he like deliver work? Did he ship it? He goes like, no. He goes like, I only do like convention stuff. I was like, fuck, that makes it even harder. And he told me the conventions he was going to this year, none of them that I'm going to, obviously.
Yeah.
So then he said, hey, if I'm here next year for AX, obviously he's going to post it out on his stuff. He's like, come here the first or second day, hit me up, let me know what you want, and then I'll promise by the last day you'll get something.
Super cool.
So I'm looking super forward to that next year. Like next year to have a original piece of art of something that I want, which is I feel pretty cool because there's plenty of things that I settle to get. I'm like, oh, cool, that's super dope. But there's there's a My Hero poster. I'm like, that's a cool My Hero poster. But I got to see all the other My Hero posters before I pick one. So this one's gonna be like, I want this, and it's one of a kind. So that's what I'm looking super forward to next year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, I want more art.
You start drawing.
Yeah. One thing when we were talking about in the last episode, all the Funimation announcements and like stuff that's coming out, I said that I was going to pre-order Rec 7 so that I could get that little film strip. It comes with 5 frames from the film.
Yeah.
And I went ahead and did that today.
Hey, look at you.
I went and did that. And then I was trying to also pre-order the Mamoru Hosoda collection, but I could not do that yet.
Is that the guy that does like all those really cool movies that we want to watch?
Yep.
Hold on. Let me know if you can say he does The Girl Up Through Time.
Yep.
The Boy and the Beast. Summer Wars.
Yep.
Digimon movie. Wolf Children.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he does more, but yeah,
that's the collection.
Those are the ones in the collection.
Those are all really good movies to have.
Man, yeah.
I'm so jealous.
I want that collection.
Stealing the collection from you.
I haven't even bought it yet.
Once you buy it, I'm going to steal it.
Man, that's fucked up.
Identity theft.
So I'm pretty down with that. But so we've talked a little bit about the exhibit. The exhibit hall. And I don't think we've really gone into a lot of detail about what it's like.
Oh, it's nuts.
Right? So there's this base floor area, which I tried like as hard as I fucking could to not go there. It's right out front of the exhibit hall. And it's just like people on like the first day, it's really bad. It's constantly crowded.
Yeah.
But then it becomes a little bit more sparse. And there are just people that they set up next to like a pole that supports the building.
Yeah, they'll pose for cosplays.
And yeah, they do their cosplay posing for a while. So it's just like you're dodging people's cameras, like, oh, I don't want to fuck up their picture.
Yeah, you feel like an asshole.
Yeah, and then somebody gets stopped for a picture in the middle of like you walking. They're right in front of you, and somebody's like, oh, can I take your picture? And you're like, oh, now I got to figure out a way around this shit.
Yeah.
Like it's a bad place to be in terms of getting to where you need to go.
Especially if you don't know how to handle it. That'd be really daunting to be like, watch out for this fucking gauntlet, because at any moment you're going to be yelled at. Yeah.
Nuts. So I try to avoid that as much as possible, but it's really fucking cool. It's such a cool place. Like, especially there are areas above that you could look down and be like, oh shit, that's some really cool stuff going on over there. It's a cool place. And then the exhibit hall, you go up some stairs and then you're there and there's just a fucking huge line of glass doors that you could enter. So you could already see like a sneak preview. And at the very front, there are giant booths, like
huge industry booths, yeah.
Yeah. Like taller than a story, like probably like 2-story tall booths.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
insane. Tall. I don't know how they get that big. And then it just has their advertisements that has a big old banner, and people are like constantly like spinning wheels and like doing giveaways, and they're big TVs. Sometimes people come up with a microphone like, hey everyone, who's ready for some free stuff? Yeah. There's karaoke going on. It's fucking insane. So while you're looking one direction, you're just like, oh cool, these are some really high quality $300 figures inside this glass frame here. So like not gonna do that, but it looks awesome. You turn around and it's just like a bunch of girls posing in front of the characters from Free.
Yeah.
And like you could go take pictures with the cutouts, but there's a huge line. So there are all kinds of little things like that which are just like cool for people to take pictures or participate in events. It's just little fun things for the audience, for the whole crowd. And then as you go further into it, there are booths that sell all kinds of stuff. There are mystery bag places that just sell big boxes full of, I don't fucking know. I've never bought one. They're too scary for me because I don't like that much.
Or have to carry something around like that, yeah.
That's also true, yeah. But they're cool. There are these giant ass eggs you could open up that are filled with stuff. There are some boxes like shaped like Pokeballs and Minecraft blocks and what have you that you could get that are filled with fun stuff. And then there are also booths that like sell a bunch of figures, and they sell a bunch of plushies, or they'll sell shirts, or all of them. They sell like satchels and bags and stuff. They have all different kinds of stuff for you to purchase. And then you get even further and you're like, oh shit, here's a bunch of art, and there's wall scrolls, and there's this really niche thing, and here's some hats that say hentai in like big plastic letters that I think are gaudy and I don't like, but some people love them and they think they're funny or something.
You know what's a new addition this year was the which I got a real kick after seeing it. In the like top left corner was the weapons alley.
Yeah, there was a little weapon.
They moved like all because like like you were saying, like all the stuff that you were saying earlier, like figures and stuff and hats.
They're
and,
like sections.
Yeah, but there's also like last year and the year before that. Every now and then you just see like there's all people would also sell weapons and
you're just like, oh, here's a bunch of daggers from like a bunch of anime and TV shows.
But I feel like I think people in charge of AX made a good decision to consciously move all the weapons to one really far corner. And I was like, hey,
except for apparently guns, which there was a big ass booth in the front, and there was one tucked away in a corner where I just saw this little kid who must have been like, I don't know, 6 or 7 or something, and the lady at the booth just like shooting at each other.
Yeah.
Like it was an airsoft gun, I assume, but like there's like and then it wasn't filled with anything, but they just kept shooing like right in the face. It was
but I feel
weird.
Like but the artist, I mean, I remember, I think it was just called like sort of like weapons, the weapons corner or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was super cool. I think it's a good idea because some of those weapons are, I wouldn't say like real, like they're like authentic swords, but they're like sharp, and like they're actually made of metal or whatever. Some of them are still made like of foam or whatever, more replicas.
And of course, you could just buy like other shit too that aren't really weapons, but they're like fucking, weapons of characters,
like katanas or whatever, or like little what are the shurikens or whatever. It's just like ninja stars or butterfly knives, and I think it's super cool that they decided to do that in a corner because I saw people like having to show their ID for 18 and plus. Like, good, this prevents anybody underage buying something that could possibly hurt them or hurt somebody else.
Yeah.
I really like that decision. Whoever made that decision.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. What else do they got? They got they also
lots of manga.
They also got like people who are in this. This isn't just like it's interesting because every now and then you get people like bleed in from things that should be like in the artist alley. Like some artists also show up in the exhibit hall or whatever. So some things like game developers have their games out there that you might think should be like in the entertainment hall or whatever, but actually they're in the exhibit hall.
Yeah, because they're smaller games, Well, some aren't that small, but like Skullgirls isn't on the same caliber as like Square Enix.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like more indie stuff, more like things, and it's cool because like they'll like sometimes it's just like one monitor and a controller, and like there's like a small line to play this game you've never heard of, or there's like 4 monitors and like 4 controllers, and there's a little bit more people playing, or sometimes it's just like people who are a part of some sort of video game association but are playing completely different games. That being said, we walked into the CLG section.
Oh shit, what'd you do?
Yeah, so there's a big old CLG it was Counter Logic game, right?
Counter Logic Gaming,
yeah. So they had like a place and everything was blue and their fucking logo and it was massive. It was like in my head, I was like, well, these fuckers they did it pretty big, and they're all playing games. None of them were playing League of Legends. I think they were playing like other like Street Fighter games or like Dragon Ball Z games, or whatever. And I don't know what came over me, but I just started yelling, "Hey, fuck CLG" or whatever. It's like, fucking trash, you're garbage, 100 thieves till I die. Just like super antagonizing them, And then Sierra was like, "Hey, calm down." I was like, I realize there is a lot of them and only one of me. So I don't regret it because they're all nerds, just like like me. So like, what are they gonna do? Push me? You hit me with their fucking body pillow or whatever?
Dude, nah, fuck that. They're gonna go toe to toe with you on the battlefield.
That being said, CLG's having a shitty season. Go fuck themselves.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, so that was super fun.
Kicking them while they're down.
Fuck them, spin. They're great.
All right.
Yeah, so what else is there? I mean, there's obviously like...
Yeah, so manga, anime, DVDs, all that good shit. There's some live action sections. Yeah. I actually saw tucked away in a corner, they were selling some fucking VHS of anime, some like old school shit.
Yeah, there's old gamey stuff too, like retro games.
Yeah, they always sell like weird games and stuff.
N64s, like
a lot
Super
of
Nintendos.
Japanese versions of games too, for whoever likes doing that shit.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you want to play Mario Party? You want to play Mario Party in Japanese though?
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a really cool place to go, and it's really easy to lose like just track of time in there.
There are also some 18+ booths.
That's right.
I didn't check any out this year, but I have in the past, and let me tell you, never go again. Why would you even do that?
I bought a couple buddies a couple years ago. It's like a grab bag of hentai just because they said I wouldn't do it, so I did.
But those were in the open. You didn't have to go into like a secret little like closed off booth.
Yeah. This year I saw the boots and I was like, you know what? I didn't go into them. There's the big Fuko one that I always see.
Yeah.
It's like super popular. It's
You know
like,
what they had in it this year?
What?
Did you hear anything about it?
No.
All right. So this year they had virtual reality. You could fuck an anime girl.
What?
And
Why were we not there, Trip?
People were doing that. You have other people in the booth. And
Together?
you're just like watching them fuck some anime girl.
Oh man, we really missed out. That's what we should have reviewed.
That's why people like Fuka.
God, next year, the first thing we're doing is going to Fuka. Well, first thing we're going to do is find that guy, get my artwork commissioned.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to Fuka. I can't believe I missed out on something so amazing
That's so
like that.
fucking
when
whack.
are we ever going to get the chance to fuck an anime chick?
I don't know.
Never. I'll tell you when, never.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm about to build a computer. I could not do that. You could instead build an anime chick to fuck.
Or you could leave a really nice port in your computer to just fuck.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah,
I'm
works
down.
too.
Whatever.
Cool. Let's talk about how we quickly talk about like what do you think of overall of Anime Expo? Like what
this year was a lot different. I think each year that I've gone, it's been different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it used to be a small convention when I went, and it slowly got bigger and bigger. And you mentioned how it had a boom in like 2013 or 12 or something, because that's when Attack on Titan dropped.
Mm-hmm.
So people were becoming huge fans of anime, and then it became a whole different convention that felt a lot more like Comic-Con with how dense it was, how much is happening.
way more industry heavy. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you know, we've gone and we've explored the exhibit hall like a bit and gone to a couple of panels and like watched some stuff. And we've had to wait in line for like 2 hours just to get somewhere that like it wasn't worth it, you know?
Yeah, but sometimes that's just kind of the worth it part is the thing where like
you can't see the screen that well, and like,
and also like sometimes like the information they give you is like, wow, I waited 2 hours to be told nothing or about DVD things, and
or you decided to go to something else
and missed out,
instead, and you missed out on something else. Yeah,
so that part we can't really blame on Anime Expo.
Oh no, yeah.
This year we were lucky enough, like we said, to get press passes, which are super helpful, and I really appreciate getting them. And
it was fantastic. It totally changed my experience
for sure.
Because in the past, like I've wanted to go to these events, but I'm like,
it's gonna be super hard. Yeah,
it's gonna be a lot of waiting, and I kind of don't want to waste my time. So I'm gonna go and really scour the exhibit hall, like look at literally everything at every booth. I'm gonna go down and check out the artist alley for fucking hours, go back and forth, like look at the same thing over and over.
I mean, you were able in this one trip to go to 3 world premieres, right?
Yep.
I hit up one. We hit up several panels or whatever.
Yeah.
Even smaller things like something I'd never would have thought of seeing, like fucking Pony Canyon or or an Anime by the Numbers.
There was even a moment where I needed to kill a little bit of time, so I went into one of the video rooms.
Yeah.
Right. And I was watching Chiahafuru, I think is the name. It's that anime that's about the girl that plays the special card game that only you can play in like Japan. But essentially,
okay,
it's. I think we've talked about it. I don't remember why, but she has to, or I guess the way the game is played is there are a shitload of cards that have like the second half or like more of a poem on it. So you have to go as fast as you can. You lay it out in a certain order, and then somebody's like saying the first part of the poem, and you have to find the one that matches up with the rest.
Was this a premiere for something?
No, this has been around for. Cool. This is like an older show, so I got to watch a couple episodes of that.
Yeah,
and that was cool, and I'm really happy that I was able to. I don't think that I would keep watching it, but I was just like, "Holy fuck, that game is awesome!" Like, I love that.
Super interesting. Yeah, it's like super like just odd thing to see.
Yeah,
and that was only we were only able to do that because we were able to do this press, and for how many times we can, every time if we keep resubmitting for it and we get it, I'm gonna be super happy to get it because it helps us a lot and it makes our job easier as people who want to review things.
Exactly.
Because going for the last 2 years, we just going as regular goers or whatever, 40 pass people, which is fine, but it does make it a lot harder for us to be like, I also want to enjoy my trip, also want to see a few cool things.
Yeah.
And you really have to weigh out a bunch of things.
So I had a lot of fun being able to see all of these panels that I normally wouldn't have been able to see.
Yeah.
It felt like a very different experience to me.
For sure.
And like, I could just hear the news. I could just read it. I used to be happy with that. But like when I'm the kind of person that wants to share that news with everyone else,
you kind of want to be the first, like, you want to hear it firsthand.
Yeah. So I could give a different kind of accounting other than these are just the facts that I have.
Yeah, this is what,
instead it's like, the lady at Pony Canyon was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I would have never known that if they were just like Pony Canyon did these things.
Like cool, Pony Canyon. Yeah, great. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Things I liked about Anime, so just like the thing, I didn't, after the whole scanning out and in thing, I think I still think it's a really good idea. I like it.
I thought it was cool. It was pretty seamless. I don't think it held up the lines much.
No.
And by much, I mean, it literally didn't hold up the lines.
Because you're walking in anyways.
Yeah, and it was bag check after bag check, and then after that, they scanned. So
I'm just surprised that people some people seem to have trouble with the concept of you have to scan out or scan in or whatever.
It's great. It keeps track of everything.
It makes things safe, I feel like.
Yeah, it makes things safer. And you have a good idea for next year what they should be doing to accommodate for such a large crowd.
For sure. Yeah. So I really like that. Also, there were some pretty like hot days out there in Expo this year. Like we're from Chico, so like we're experienced
kind of used to
over
it,
100 degrees weather, but over there, like they were scared about a day that was going to be 104, and we're like, yeah, that's a hot day. Don't get us wrong, but like we've dealt with that. Like cool. This entire week is 103 to 105 or whatever.
Well, I guess it's just another fucking day in California.
So, what's super cool. I didn't even cross my mind to thank them like the second day it happened. Because this was on day 2, but then it happened even later. Some Anime Expo employee or whatever just gave me a bottle of water. He's like, here you go, man, drink this. I was like, oh, sweet, And then on the last day, they just had cases of water when you walked in, for everybody to just grab a few and drink.
Super smart.
I was like, that's super smart because they have vending machines. They have people who are selling water or whatever, but for them to be like, we know the heat out here, we want everybody to be hydrated and be safe, and for them to like foot the bill because it can't be cheap to buy that much water and just literally give it away. I thought that was super cool, and I think it was super nice of them to do as a business or whatever. From that kind of standpoint, my parents like, wow, that's really smart of them. Obviously they're protecting themselves from anybody getting sick from the heat, which I was super worried about that second day for anybody who was cosplaying because honestly, it was fucking hot.
I was very because. It's different for us. We're a little bit more prepared. We're also people who have grown up in the heat, so we know what's going on. But we're a little bit more prepared because we're older too.
Yeah, and we get it. I feel kind of dizzy. Drink some water.
Yeah, exactly.
I stopped sweating. Drink some water. Yeah.
There's some younger people that haven't really had to worry about that before. So it's pretty important the Anime Expo came around because, as a fucking anime fan, there aren't too many older anime fans. A lot of people are like younger than 18 to like 24, somewhere in there.
And if there's older, it's that outlier. You will see older ones, but they'll have like their kids or whatever. Or they'll be like super old. I'm like, oh man, you've been around for a hot minute,
Which fucking great. I took a sick ass snap. I was just zooming in on an audience, and then there was just this super old woman in a wheelchair, and I'm like, that's so cool.
That's super down. So. It seems kind of silly to be thanking them for something as simple as giving out free water.
No,
but I feel like that's so
made
cool.
All the difference.
Yeah, it's so cool. Especially for people who like aren't from California, people who like are from Chicago or from Utah or whatever, and like the East Coast that came over to be like, wow, I did not expect it to be this bad.
Regardless, I don't know if this year was my favorite year. I think my favorite year is always going to be the first year I went because it was so just like, oh my God, what is this? What is that? This is amazing. This is so new. This is incredible. And I was young enough for it to like really put a good impression in me, Yeah. But this one, it was spectacular. It was a very different experience than I had ever had. So cool being able to go to these panels and not have to worry about, am I going to get in? It was like, you're pretty much guaranteed. There was only one where we really had trouble.
Yeah.
And
we figured it out.
Yeah. Which I think was, Anime Expo has done some amazing things. They've gotten so much better. One of the things that they've always needed to work on, still need to work on, they're getting much better, is lines. And that was one of the first days. It was the second day, and you had trouble getting into the Netflix premiere.
It was the Netflix panel was super hard to get into. I eventually did get into it, but it is frustrating to be like, damn, I'm waiting and I'm wasting time in this line, and I'm settling for something else I'm going to see after what I want to see, just because I'm now upset with the fact that I'm not going to get to see what I want to see. Again, you can only do so much, when it comes to lines. I don't know who's in charge of that, and God bless them, because I imagine it's super frustrating. But yeah, people,
it's the hardest thing.
And then, what's also really frustrating, the lack of communication between people who are volunteering there. And again, I always want to give the fact that they are volunteering there.
We've never volunteered. We don't know what it's like.
They're not getting paid for what they're doing, and if they are getting paid, they're getting. I'm assuming they're not getting paid very much to have such high responsibility of something. So when unofficial lines get made, people are like, I'm just gonna wait right here and I'm at the front of the line, and then that ends up not being the case, and you're upset that you go, oh, I didn't get to get into the thing. hey man, it fucking sucks. You know, not everybody's going to get to do what they want to do. And the true thing to do is, you know, fucking be upset for a bit and then fucking get over it.
Yeah.
And just do something else. Because you can't let shit like that, you know, just deter you from having such a great time at Anime Expo.
I mean, yeah, but that's one of those things, too, where it's like we were all waiting in this line that formed in front of the door that they were opening. And then they were like, all right, guys, well, we're going to actually move the line outside. And all the people that weren't in the line, that just were in a big-ass mob, they just went through another door and cut in and just ruined it all.
And again, for me...
So that happens sometimes, and it's like, man, that sucks, but like...
I'm not going to be a bitter person about it.
There's nothing that we could have done.
It sucks. I was upset at the time, and now I'm cool because it's fucking over. I'm home.
Yep. And guess what? They completely prevented that problem by being like, nobody can be in the hall. You cannot come through. You have to go outside. Yeah. And they like blocked off the entire hallway the next couple of days, which sucked if you were just like, no, man, I'm literally, I'm just trying to get through
or whatever. Yeah. And they're like, no, pee your pants or whatever.
That being said, it must have been significantly better for all those people that did have to wait. So I appreciate that they did start working on it. It was frustrating at the beginning. It became better.
Yeah.
So they've really worked on their issues, and I'm enjoying Anime Expo a lot more than the last few years because of that.
Yeah. Every year they're getting a little bit better, and you know that's all you can ask for, because I feel like anime is not going to stop anytime soon. It's getting super popular. You know, people are starting to like it more openly. I feel like, you're like, oh, you like anime? Yeah, dog, I like anime. Oh, cool. It's on Netflix. It's okay or whatever. It's okay to like anime now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's only going to get better. Hopefully. You know, I like what they're doing. It's not perfect by any means, but what is perfect, you know?
True.
What else? Is there anything that I really want to say? No, man, I think we covered
it
pretty good.
We saw one of the gems of Anime Expo. Sometimes he's there.
Yeah, we should talk about him.
Sometimes he's not.
He's still alive. Did you get to peep him? Did you see him with your own eyes? Cool.
I did. And I forgot to tell you about a conversation that I heard him having.
Oh, let's hear it. Okay, so every year, Trip goes to Anime Expo, and since
I've been,
even when he was like younger and he went,
you remember this guy?
Yeah, he was talking about this big old dude who just kind of sits in a pile in the center of this collection of manga. I'm assuming it's his booth, right? Obviously, or he's in charge of it. And so I think it was 3 years ago when we went back, because he hadn't been there for a while.
Yeah,
you go, hey man, there's this fucking unicorn out there. This fucking this gorgeous beast of a man who sits in the pile of manga and just yells out orders. And I wonder if he's still there. I wonder if he's still alive. So
he is,
and he is. And every year we we try to keep an eye out for him and just text each other if we're there, like, oh dude, fuck, he's still kicking, he's still there, he's still, and guess what, he is still alive,
still fucking was. So here's what happened in the order of things that happen. I get there, I'm looking around, it's all good. I'm trying to find the Promised Neverland, which I'm sure that they have, you know, I've seen ads and stuff around. Anyways, I wind up getting to the area that it would be, and I'm having trouble finding it. While this is happening, somebody comes up behind me, and she's just trying to squeeze through. And the guy there's just like, "Hey, while you're looking around, do you mind if I keep track of your manga for you? Can I like hold on to your books?" Right? And he works there, and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, I forgot they did this. They always like keep your shit. They're like, hey, yeah, I'll give it back to you when you're ready to go,
like,
so that nobody steals it or
whatever,
anything." Yeah. And then the chick's like, what? And he's like, yeah, no, I know it's weird. I just have to ask, like, we just have to hold on to your books. So
did you say I work here?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I know. Like, we have to, when we're working, we have to do this or whatever. And she's like, and he's like, so do you mind if could I hold on to your books for you until, you know, you're ready to go? Yeah. And she's like, okay. It was just like being really bitchy about it. I'm like, that guy was pretty nice. And like, you know what? I don't mind. Like, oh, cool. Thanks, man. That gives me more hands to grab more books, like whatever. So then I keep looking. I'm like, I just fucking can't find this thing. And people are lifting up boxes of books, looking underneath. It's fucking chaos here for those of you that don't know. And I haven't even mentioned the fucking dude yet, right? Yeah. So I'm looking and I can't find it. And that same guy who would ask, like, hey man, do you mind hey, do you mind if I grab this stuff? It was a girl, so he clearly didn't say hey man.
Hey man.
And I come over to him, I'm like, hey man, you know, doing my hey man. I'm trying to find the Promised Neverland, and I found the third book, but I was hoping that you might have the first and second as well. And he's like, yeah, I mean, I know we have it. I just don't know where it's at. Like, I know it's probably like it's probably right here. And he like points to a box right in front of me. He's like, yeah, it's probably right there. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, yep, I think it's there. But like,
He didn't say go look for them.
he's pointing in front of him. Meanwhile, I can't get over to there. He's standing in front of it and he's not allowed to move. That's a big thing
It's
about
a big
this guy
rule
too.
with this guy.
Like, hey, stay in your position.
Stay in your post.
Yeah.
Stay in your hold. Yeah, fucking last year was it or 2 years ago? There's a guy who he kept turning around to help people.
Yeah.
and he was just like, God fucking damn it, Brian, put your back against the wall, because he doesn't want him to. He doesn't want people to like he wants him to be facing the merch or whatever, or so he can see that no one steals anything.
Yeah.
and he'd always call the guy. I think he was facing the wall, and he kept turning his back to look at the guy who was yelling at him. He'd be like, "Don't look at me, look at the wall."
It was so fucking dumb, right?
It was hilarious. I
so
felt
this dude
so bad
can't
for
help
that
me
guy.
out. I'm like, oh, all right, okay. And then I just like was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not gonna get that, but I'll look around for other shit. So I go around the whole booth, and then I find like a series of manga, and they're called Emma, and I'm like, oh, that's fun. I'll send it to my sister, who's named Emma. And then I continued around. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll look at that. Just checking everything out a little bit, and then I hear him, and he's just like, I need caffeine. Somebody, I need caffeine now. And then this chick's like, okay, well, right now, the only caffeine we have is Dr. Pepper. And he's like, don't give me that Dr. Ass.
Oh man, he's got some pretty good opinions on Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, and
How'd that
she's
make
like-
you feel? Did you just drop all your shit? Like, what the fuck did he say about it? Because that's your favorite, isn't it?
I love Dr. Pepper, yeah. I don't know if it's my
Dr.
favorite,
Ass.
but it's great.
next time we
foods.
go out to eat, be like, what would you like to drink? And be like, I'll have a Pepsi. And Trip will be like, do you have Diet Dr. Ass?
So he fucking does that. I'm like, what the fuck? And then she's like, I mean, the only other option is lemonade. So you're pretty limited with like caffeine. And he's like, lemon ass. Just like, why is everything ass, dude? What the fuck? And he's just like slumping there in his fucking chair, like, Dr. Ass.
imagine like a, it's like an Asian, Jabba the Hutt,
yeah.
who has a really big hankering for caffeine and likes yelling about manga.
Holy shit, it was so fucking weird. So I was really happy I got to experience that this year. Fucking
man.
yelling about Doctor,
I'm pretty
and they had a little
upset.
banter about it too. I don't remember it, but I just remember being like, "What the fuck? How are they like going off of this? How are they like, oh man, Doctor Ass, that's fucking great. I'm gonna joke around." But I know that he's their boss, but it's still just like, what the fuck?
I think it's so funny that I've never had the power to just yell caffeine. I need caffeine.
Yeah, I was like, you need caffeine. Excuse you.
I love how like his employees instantly knew what to do. They're just like, oh god, he fucking wants it.
I need caffeine. We only have Dr. Pepper. Dr. Ass. It's like, I'm fired. Oh shit,
God, I'm
I'm
losing
fired.
my job.
I mean, the only other option is lemonade. So
Lemon ass. That's great, man. I'm so glad that guy is still alive and kicking. That being said, he's got great merch. So like,
Yeah.
he's got all the books. So
he does.
He can be the
He
biggest
also
dick he
has
wants to
an
be.
anime booth as well. Sometimes they're combined. This year they were separate, and I was kind of bummed about that.
Because it's better to see it.
Yeah, it's so much bigger and better. I feel like the anime booth must have had like must have had his little like trainee. He's like the senpai.
Oh man. Okay. Well, man, I had a really good time. Anime Expo 2018.
Yeah.
I can't wait for next year. It should be a good time. I got
Dude, it
plenty
was
of things looking
great.
forward to. It's always super fun to go with you. And this time Sierra and Kyle were both a part of it.
Yeah, it
Sierra
was
was a part of it
excellent.
last year, but Kyle was part of it this year. It feel like it really
It was a good
solidified the group.
dynamic.
Yeah, it was a good time. We had a lot.
Everyone
of
was
good
able to
food.
split up correctly, and like
Yeah, and everybody seemed to, we all hung out appropriately.
none of us cared if we were alone or.
Yeah. Oh no, not even a little bit. We had food, great food. We had a great time. We didn't get to go to that bar I wanted to take us to.
You know what? We didn't have time,
no, we
and we
didn't.
were too fucking. Every time we would get back to the hotel, it's like,
Tired.
yeah, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way I'm about to head outside again. I'm done.
For sure. So next year hopefully we can do it again and
Yeah.
do it just as big and just as bad. So Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And
great.
Next week we'll be talking about the anime wrap up. So all the stuff from this season. I know a lot of it ended while we were at Anime Expo.
Yeah.
But obviously we weren't going to, stop.
I'm not about to jam another
Yeah.
episode down your guys' throats.
Yeah,
Like, come
and
on.
that's going to be a really long one, at least 2 hours, because those are always timely or whatever. At least 5 hours, because those just take a lot of time. At least like 10 hours. Those take
I have
a lot
no
of time.
idea how long it's going to be.
Yeah. But
Realistically,
those are longer.
They're a little bit longer, yeah. And then the week after that, we're going to do the anime preview, which is always longer than the anime wrap up because wrap up we're like
all of them.
Yeah, we're like, you know what? We got 8 shows to talk about. Some of them don't need much talking about, but then for the like preview, it's like.
We have
all right, well, I'm really interested in this.
Yeah.
This seems like really cool. Oh, shit, I talked about that for 10 minutes. All right, this next show I'll do 2 minutes. And I'm like, okay, feeling good about 7 minutes?
Yeah.
How did I get to 7?
It's so fucked.
It's fucking nuts.
Anyways, we did actually acquire some things at Anime Expo that were some pretty cool freebies, and we actually won a prize. It's got some posters and stuff that we were planning on. We got to coordinate it, and when we say we, it means somebody else who actually coordinates stuff for us. Not us because we're horrible at it. But yeah, we're planning on giving some stuff away pretty soon. So I guess just keep an eye out for that if you want your chance to win. Cool stuff. I'm not gonna let you know what it is because I don't know what it all is just yet. So
yeah,
it's cool. Okay, so cool.
It's cool.
Okay, so hey, if you like our logo, hit up AaronFrom If you like our theme song, check out Tom Nasser. He's on YouTube and SoundCloud. It's Tom Nasser, NASR. Trip. Where can people find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. Same thing for Instagram. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. If you want to find us on Twitter, you could tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast Fit.
You could send us an email, instantramenpodcast@gmail.com. That's probably the best way to reach us.
For sure.
Also, we're on fucking everything now. Spotify, Google Play Music, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook.
Fucking Twitch. Christian Mingle, right? This is the joke that you do.
Yeah.
Grinder.
Farmer's Meat.
Yelp. God, you always come up with a new one that I can't get at.
Farmersmeat.com. It's great.
Anyways.
It's only a little bit worse than blackpeoplemeat.com.
Yeah. So just, you can look us up anywhere, wherever you want to find the podcast. I'm pretty sure we'll be up there. So anyways, this is bye from Juan.
I'll see you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water.
I like burped. like a tiny burp. Sorry.
You totally did too, but I didn't even process it.
I did. I was like, oh, that's a bad noise. I was just again.